my goodness. It's Binging Batch. We're here.
We're here.
Logan, that is me. I am Logan Lewis. New podcast alert. New podcast alert.
Very exciting.
Happy Saturday. I have a co-host with me today. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Laura Meinert. Glad to be here. Happy to talk all things Bachelor.
Oh yeah. We're super excited to bring you this new podcast. First things first, guys, go to wherever you listen to your pods and mash that subscribe button, as well as the rating and review. That 5 stars, it shoots us up at the top. There's a lot of Bachelor pods out there. We're trying to be a little different, trying to be ourselves. No corporation is backing us. We are just fans of the show. Just trying to get involved. It's a fun show to talk about. The drama. If you're people like us, then you feed into that drama and you love it.
Us never. No.
No, never. So yeah, we're here to talk about The Bachelor. That's what Binging Batch is all about, as well as any love like if Bachelor's out of season, we're looking for something to watch, and let's just say Netflix puts up the 2nd season of Love is Blind, or
we'll be all over it,
or Too Hot to Handle. We'll be on top of it, which is what we're kind of doing here with this kind of introduction episode, but we'll get into that a little later. So go and follow the Instagram. I think the Instagram's just Binging Batch Pod, I believe. Yeah, for those of you who don't know kind of the little history behind Binging Batch, so I run the Binge Boys podcast, the podcast that talks about movies and TV, music, all that stuff. And it came to the point where I started kind of getting interested in Bachelor. And so one of my coworkers expressed interest in talking about The Bachelor. And I said, okay, why don't we just do like a spin-off of the Binge Boys, kind of like a 2nd episode per week. And we just talk about Bachelor stuff. Like the other 2 guys, they're not involved. It was just me and my co-host, Kaylee. And we would just talk about The Bachelor. And then similarly, like I said earlier, as soon as Pilot Pete's season ended, we talked about Listen to Your Heart. We talked about Too Hot to Handle. We talked about all 3 of those seasons. And then, COVID hit and Bachelor/Bachelorette kept getting delayed. And we're recording this on Saturday, probably going to release it today too, just as like a teaser episode, because we'll obviously be publishing another one later this week for the premiere episode. But here we are.
Finally, in October.
We've been talking about doing this for quite a long time. I think I jumped the gun a little bit. Maybe it was good to jump the gun and get like a co-host secured, the logo secured, everything secured like 3 months ago.
Yeah, had our ducks in a row, just patiently waiting.
Yep, ducks are in a row. I guess I'd rather have our ducks be in a row than scrambling at the last minute. Right. So Laura, give your how did we meet? Because again, it's been like a few months. Kind of forgot.
We met via the internet, Twitter, as one does. I think I heard you on a podcast. Maybe I listened to you on the Millennials Mimosa one that you
shouts to them
did. Yes. I think that's where I heard about you. And then we followed each other on Twitter. And then you posted that you were starting a podcast. And I was like, hey, I write about Bachelor stuff. I watch it every week anyway. I like to talk. Let's do this.
Hell yeah.
Here we are. That's
honestly the best. I mean, I think I also that same week put an ad up, or maybe not the same week, a couple weeks later, put an ad up on my Instagram and said like, hey, I'm looking for people to be co-hosts for like the Binge Boys, because I want to start shuffling hosts around, and my 2 main co-hosts, their lives got really hectic during COVID. So they kind of had to take a step back, and like Twitter just worked its magic. And like, one of my new co-hosts, Matt, he just like DM'd me out of the blue and was just like, hey, I'm into this shit. Let's talk about it. And I was like, okay. Like,
just brings people together.
It does. Twitter is great. Are you good at Twitter, Laura?
I would have to say no. I am one of those people that I joined Twitter late in the game.
Same.
And I am terrible about posting consistently. Like I'm more of a go scroll through and then like things. And then maybe every 3 weeks, I'm like, this would be a good tweet. Here you go.
Yeah, right. Like, I definitely try hard. I think I can, like, because like you said, posting consistently, Twitter isn't like Instagram, where like Instagram, I guess it's quote unquote socially acceptable to post like maybe once, maybe twice a week or something, or a day even.
A day, yeah.
But
people with their planned posts and they're a couple times a day. I mean, we're not Instagram influencers either by any means.
no, but Twitter, you have to like be consistent on the timeline so that people know your personality.
Well, and I always look at Twitter, like anytime I think of something that I'm like, maybe this is Twitter funny, I get haunted by Facebook memories of stuff I posted like 10 years ago. And it's stupid stuff like, Laura is mad today. And I'm like, okay, I have all these thoughts, but are they going to come back and be bad someday when I like Facebook memories that are haunting me?
Yeah.
So I just feel like this isn't important enough to tweet. So then I just don't do it.
Me too. Like, I thought like, you're just supposed to tweet things about I don't even know if people are trying to be funny all the time, but to me, like, Twitter is almost like a cold call for like aspiring comedians, essentially. Like,
yes,
everybody's
exactly.
tweeting something to try to make them funny, and that's what
right.
gets you to like.
And I just think of things that are like, here's what I had for lunch today. Here's something stupid my coworker did. And I'm like, no one cares about this. So how do I get beyond the boring stuff and then
like last night we went and celebrated a buddy of mine's, one of my roommates' birthdays at a brewery. And like, for those of you who don't know, I'm allergic to hops, which
sounds like a nightmare.
which is a key ingredient in pretty much all beers. So I tweeted out like, going to a brewery, allergic to beer, this should be fun. And then I was thinking like, oh, that'll get a like or two. And it got like 4 likes. And I was just like, yes.
Like, I did it.
And then like I tweeted a follow-up to it that said just like, oh my God, they have seltzers, I'm in trouble, or something like that. And that got like 5 likes. And I see that as a successful interaction.
I would agree. I think my most liked tweet is at a very low in the grand scheme of the world, like 50 likes maybe.
Wow.
I know. Just crushing it over here.
I mean, that's probably 3 times as many as I think. My number one like tweet, I think, unfortunately, is last week when I tweeted like, if this tweet gets 15 likes, I'll drop my Whop dance on the TL.
Oh, and that was the best use of your time. It was.
Did you see that?
Oh, I sure did. It was delightful. And I'll have you know that I shared it with a couple of my friends too. I was like, hey, I know this guy. This is the best thing you're going to see today. Please enjoy.
Oh my God. You're like, yeah, I'm going to co-host a podcast with this guy.
I mean, he's going to teach me the moves. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, maybe if hey guys, we're
not committing to this.
I'm volunteering her against her will. If this is the first episode, if this, let's say it's mid-October, if by November 1st we have 30 ratings on Apple Podcasts, Laura will do the Whop dance.
Oh God.
Off air, she's gonna be like, low key, let's not do that. Let's cut.
I'll be like, we can't. Like, let's not promote anything. We're out.
We're not promoting that.
I mean, I can't do the splits, but I feel like is the key point.
That's the finishing move, and I couldn't do the splits either, so I had to like improvise.
Right.
So I just slowly.
I suppose I have a month. There's those challenges like teach yourselves the splits. I have some time, maybe.
Yeah, like I don't know how one goes about teaching themselves. Do you just have to stretch daily for an extended amount of time to kind of warm your muscles up to the idea of splits?
I believe so. But then I'm like, I was in dance way back in elementary school and I was the most flexible and that was the goal to get to the splits. And I couldn't do it then. So I don't know that my 31-year-old body will come around and let me do it now.
I can't even touch my toes. So there's no hope of me ever doing the splits.
But still a successful Whop dance. So it's fine.
It was a lot of fun to make too. Like I seen them on TikTok and I was like, this is so stupid. But once you try yourself, you're like, this is a workout. I am wheezing right now.
That's how I also know I'm too old for TikTok. I'm like, I don't need to work out on camera. Like,
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. Like, I don't know. Like, my sister tries real hard at TikTok, and so does one of my cousins. And my sister's like, it's a workout. If you don't get the dance right, you're trying it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. That WOP dance was my second attempt.
oh wow,
Yeah, I'm
impressive.
very proud of that.
Did you quit after 2, or you were like, we're done?
I think I could have gone a few more attempts to perfect it because I noticed a lot of people told me that I forgot the hand mashing.
Oh, the key motion.
Key motion. But I decided to go with it. Maybe I'll record another one. If this podcast gets 30 likes by November 1st and she doesn't drop a WOP dance,
Someone will.
I'll just do another one. Maybe I'll do it in my Halloween costume.
Ooh, yes, I like this.
That'll be funny. That'll be funny. But yes, like we've said a few times, go like it on, sorry, not like, go rate it on Apple Podcasts. You can follow along on Spotify. We appreciate if you listen on Spotify. I listen to my podcast for the most part on Spotify. However, Apple Podcasts is the one that matters. Mash that 5 stars. Tell your friends to mash the stars. Tell your friends about the pod. I mean, how many?
Yeah, we know you love Bachelor. We know all your friends watch Bachelor.
Just listen to this pod. We're relatable. We are millennials. Are you a millennial, Laura?
Rude. Yes, I'm a millennial. Are you a millennial?
I just found this out.
I'm what, an elder millennial? What's the cutoff? Like 35 or something? 34? I'm 31.
I recently just found out that I'm not a millennial, and I've been calling myself a millennial this whole time.
Because you wish you could be us. You don't want to be shoved into the trash Gen Z generation.
Yeah. I think I'm like I think the cutoff is like a month before my birthday. So then keep identifying as a millennial.
I feel like that's fair.
Yeah, I don't.
As long as you're not years out.
Because you know who has a worse reputation than millennials? Gen Zers.
Yes. So but I mean, if you were true Gen Z, maybe you'd be better at TikTok and the WOP dance.
That's a very, very good point.
That's how we know it's authentic. You're a millennial. It's fine.
Yes. Follow, rate, and subscribe. Those are the 3. That is the one takeaway I want you to get from this intro. Doesn't matter who we are. Doesn't matter what we're doing. Just rate, review, and subscribe. Yeah, and we're here. This is Binging Batch, guys. How'd you like that slick intro, kind of porno intro sound?
Loved it. I was like, it's sexy. It's maybe a little trashy, which is what we're going for.
Oh yeah, we're just embracing it.
Feeling the love.
Embracing it, of course. So did you just talk? Oh. Did you just play a video? It's okay. My girlfriend teacher is in the background lesson planning, and I think she accidentally triggered something. So you, Catherine.
She wanted to participate. It's fine.
Yeah, she's here in it. She's involved. She's all in. So Laura, we'll kind of get into our history of like Bachelor content related. I think we talked about this when we FaceTimed initially, when I quote unquote interviewed you to be my co-host. Even though like you're the first person that reached out, I was like, if she reached out to me and put herself out there, she's definitely qualified.
Got it. Yes. I mean, I hope so. Yes, my Bachelor history, as it were, I feel like I came in way early when I was younger, and I watched the really early seasons. And then I had a period of time, I think right after college, I quit watching. I don't know why, because I used to be obsessed with the show. Like, literally would be my Monday night plans. Really? And then I finally came back around probably, I don't remember who my first season back. When was like Nick Viall or Chris Soules season, somewhere in there. I don't remember the order of all those guys, but that was when I finally came back fully committed. It was my life again. And then I think for 3 or 4 years now, I've been writing for Accept This Rose, which is a Bachelor, all things Bachelor website. They're part of the Fansided network. So I've been doing reviews for them, fashion, power rankings, all that stuff, kind of whatever they need. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I've been writing about it for probably 3 or 4 years now. Wow. And here we are. Now we have a podcast about it.
Sure do.
And you
Yeah,
were late
so
to the Bachelor game, right?
I am. I recently jumped on, I forget why. Um, I listened to a couple podcasts, notably like Circling Back. I'm sure I think you listen to them too, don't you?
Yes. Yep.
You are a backer.
For sure. Well, yes, I used to side plug. I used to write for post grad problems, so I knew
Oh,
all those guys before they were circling back.
did you really know them? Like personally?
So not personally. I mean, I think, Will and I've had some side conversations. Dave has called me to like when I had to have a review of how my writing was going.
Huh.
But I mean, it's not like I'm chatting them up all the time or anything.
Right.
They've gotten too
Cool. big
for me.
Yeah, they're too famous now.
Yeah.
They're C-list celebrities now.
Right.
I jumped on kind of late. I didn't know you wrote for Postgrad Problems. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Way back in the day.
Yeah, way back. Throwback to that. I jumped on my first season was Pilot Pete's season. And
which was a great mistake.
I've been told by many that was the worst time to jump on. Which is cool. I mean, I got a gist for what the show was. I needed the gist of the show. I
liked him so well before he had his own season, and then he was just a garbage pile. So
that's the gist I get from everybody, that Pilot Pete, great guy in previous seasons, but in his own season, the worst. Is it?
Yes.
Would you double down on the popular, I guess, statement that Pilot Pete is the worst Bachelor?
I think so. I mean, some other ones have, done really crappy things. Like, of course, they just did the recap season with like Juan Pablo being a legit trash human, but at least he went through the motions correctly. He just was a bad person. Pete was just all over the place, and yeah. And he just had no personality. And I was like, this man cannot hold a show. No. Lo and behold, he did not hold a show.
No, he didn't. They had to rely on the extreme personalities of the ladies to keep the show going. And that's what kept me coming back. I didn't give two shits about Peter. I just wanted to see the continuation of more drama between, what was it, Tammy and McKenna?
Yes, Tammy McKenna. Champagne Gate.
Yeah, Champagne Gate with Kelsey. God, Kelsey was the worst.
I actually, fun fact, I not really know, but I know Kelsey. She is from Des Moines. She used to sell custom clothing, and when I was a receptionist, she used to come into my office all the time and sell clothing to our executives.
Wow.
She tried to recruit me to work with her. So like I have her old business card from a couple years ago.
Wow, that's funny. That's awesome.
I know. Secretly, I'm like, Kelsey, can I use this hookup and interview you sometime? Like, we do kind of know each other.
I've slid into Kelsey's DMs more times than I'd like to admit to try to get her to be a guest on any pod that I have.
Does she even acknowledge, or is she just like, I'm too busy?
No. What's crazy is no, she ignores it every single time, which I get. I mean, she's probably getting a bunch of DMs from a bunch of people all the time. I mean, it seems like when people exit The Bachelor, they just go on to become influencers.
They get a little too big for their britches. Pardon my Midwest saying. Like,
no, I definitely have been told that expression before. I am from the Midwest as well. I was born in Champaign, Illinois.
Oh, fancy.
I guess. Champagne Gate, Champaign, Illinois.
Right, there you go. Tying it all together.
Yeah, tying it together. But I've DM'd a bunch of Bachelor contestants to try to get them to be on guests on various other pods, and I've got one of them a while back. I got Alea.
Okay.
From Pilot Pete's season. And I actually texted her, or not texted her, but I DM'd her again yesterday. And I was like, hey, Alea, can you give me any advice about DMing like
other Bachelor?
any other somewhat, celebrities? Because I want to get more people involved.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, unfortunately, there's a lot of quote unquote like micro celebrities out there that think that once they are, they have their moment to shine, that everything that they do should have some way to benefit them.
Right. Or
And
it's
Alea
like now
said,
they have a manager and it has to go through them.
yeah. And she said, I just did your podcast because I love podcasts and I love talking to people.
Right.
And I said, well, I wish there was more of you out there because you're awesome. And now she we follow each other and all that. So shouts to Alea if she ever listens to this.
That is exciting. I was going to tell you, I'm trying to find, so did you watch, did you watch Listen to Your Heart, the music spinoff?
Listen to Your Heart.
So I was doing reviews for Accept This Rose, and I wrote a album review of, what's his name? The Winners.
Chris and Bree.
Yes. And he actually DM'd me because he read my review.
Wow.
And I fangirled out, and it was very nice. And he literally was like, hey, Laura, are you the same Laura that wrote about our album? And I was like, yes, I am. And he's like, you're the best. You made my day. And I was like, you have made my day. So yeah, I've been hit up once by Bachelor Nation.
Wow, you got hit up by the winner.
I know. I was shocked. I was like, oh, look at him. But I was like, probably because Listen to Your Heart is less popular, so he'll take what he can get.
True. But with that logic, I DM'd Rudy a few times.
Yes.
She read them but never replied.
Rudy.
How rude.
I was back and forth on Rudy most of the time.
So
but her voice, man, all about it.
Oh yeah. She's got some pipes when it comes to that singing.
Yeah, I was just like, he doesn't care about you, but please ditch him and go sing forever.
Yeah, she's great. Same with Jamie, the runner-up. Was she the runner-up?
Yes, I think so.
Her and Trevor were the runner-ups, I guess, behind Chris and Bree.
Oh yeah, see, I didn't really like them. I was like, you're too cutesy, poppy,
Interesting. Changing my sheets while I record.
She's being helpful.
She is. She sure is. So yeah, I watched Pilot Pete's season, Listen to Your Heart, and that's my only Bachelor experience. I watched a few episodes of the kind of the throwbacks, kind of to get involved a little bit with
Stuff
some of the
you missed
history
and how it went down.
Yeah, some of the history, some of the most iconic characters, and I got that. I watched I think 10 of them, and I was like, okay, I feel like I've got a pretty good understanding about what's gone on.
And then you were like, this is too much. 3 hours is too long.
Yep.
I'm done.
Yep, that's essentially it.
So that's when I was writing the reviews of those. I was like, I appreciate that it's quote unquote new content, but I cannot handle that it's 3 hours long. I'm tired of being forced to watch these. It's just too much.
It's just too much. So that was it for my Bachelor world. We watched, yawning. Wow. Not editing that out either, because this is raw.
We're authentic.
We are.
Relatable.
We are relatable. We are real people. Watched Too Hot to Handle. Did you watch Too Hot to Handle?
Yes. That was the one where they couldn't touch each other, right?
Right.
Okay. With Francesca and what's his name? Harry?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's like a legit influencer now. She has
she has, I'm pretty sure I follow her, and
I do too.
I'm like, why do I keep following this girl for her Fashion Nova ads and all the bikinis that don't cover anything?
Girl, your skin is pure enough. You don't need skincare routines. So
I think we watched that. I watched that with my boyfriend. I think we did it in one day. We were just we're doing it, get it out of the way.
Yeah, it's easy too. The episodes weren't super long either. They were very manageable.
Yes. Would definitely watch it again. Not them, the new season, if they had
one. hopes they have a new season. And same with Love is Blind. Did you watch that?
Yes. Loved that.
Yes, same here.
I think that one was better than Too Hot to Handle.
Yes, I think quality wise, yes, but if you're really into the drama, then Too Hot to Handle is what you want.
Right. Yes.
But anyway, the plan is that we are going to watch the new seasons, of course, and review episode by episode, kind of give our winners and losers of the weeks, probably come up with some other segments along the way that kind of set us apart from we don't want to sit here and recap minute by minute what happened. Because if you're watching and if you're listening, you know what happened. You don't need us really. you don't need us. Yeah, exactly. So we want to put our spin on it. We're brainstorming. We're coming up with some ideas. So, so yeah, that's the plan. Episodes drop, I think, every Tuesday of The Bachelor. So we will come out Wednesday, I believe. I think that's our plan.
Yep. I'm trying to be timely with it.
Try to be on top of it. Don't want to record late and upload late. That would defeat the purpose of us being the one-stop shop that you needed.
Yes. And as we both listening to Circling Batch, we don't want to steal any ideas and listen to theirs before we.
Right. Yeah. We don't want to, yeah, exactly what you said.
Do you listen to any other Bachelor recap pods?
I don't actually. Do you?
I do. Every once in a while, I do. What's the Batch Happy Hour with Rachel,
Yeah.
Lindsay, and Becca? I cannot do it on a consistent basis because they annoy the crap out of me, mostly Rachel. But every once in a while, when they have a good guest, then I'll go through and listen to theirs.
Yeah. I saw Bachelor Nation announced a new pod, and like I think Hannah Ann is one of the hosts of it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know.
I have Hannah Ann feelings also, but
oh yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll get to all of our feelings and stuff like that from previous
as we go,
seasons
yeah,
as we go along. But so let's talk briefly about the drama that we've had preseason here. We've got over the past 6 months, they've announced the new male bachelor, Matt, I think is his name.
Yes, Matt Johnson. Matt someone.
Think something like that. And
yeah, because he's Tyler's friend.
That was back when the inclusivity movement kind of was at its peak, and people were expecting an announcement from The Bachelor. People, I think, were actually kind of coming at The Bachelor, kind of attacking ABC for having 20-something seasons and not one of the leads, or only having one lead African-American contestant. And Bachelor was like, hold my beer. Here's Matt Johnson.
Bachelor was like, well, I guess it's time. We've been avoiding this long enough and everyone hates us, so we should still love you, Bachelor, but like, come on. This shouldn't happen so long ago.
Yeah, like at this point, 20-something seasons, there's only so many good-looking white dudes out there.
They all look the same. I mean,
yeah, they all have the same insecurities. They're all buff as hell. Can we get Bachelor for like
average people?
Average people? Can we get like My Biggest Loser Bachelor edition?
I actually just read a book about a plus size blogger going on a Bachelor type dating show. And so they like had her as the main girl. And then it was like, they didn't tell the contestants that she was plus size. So it was this whole, how would the guys react? And how is she actually going to find love? And her dealing with the pushback from social media. And
wow.
So yeah, I'm always like, I want average person Bachelor. I want plus size Bachelor. I would definitely do, let's get some gay Bachelor up in here. Like,
I'm sure that'll
any
happen
diversity at all.
I'm sure that'll happen, but then I'm sure that ABC will get, I mean, regardless of this, where you stand, ABC is going to get pushback from some people.
For sure.
But I'm down for a gay Bachelor. Let's get all dudes. Let's get all chicks. Let's spice it up a little bit.
Yes, anything.
we're all here for the inclusivity of all lovers. So, for lack of a better term, I guess. So then we get Claire. I mean, she was announced at the end of last season.
Yes.
Pilot Pete's season. Like, this is our Bachelorette.
Which I was not thrilled about either. But
yeah,
I'm done
I didn't
with
watch
Claire.
The previous season.
Well, so she was on Juan Pablo's and then had her girl power moment, which totally respected. She was like, I can do better than you. I don't want you as the father of my children.
Yep.
And then she went on Bachelor in Paradise, right? And then I think she went on another, did she go on the Winter Games spinoff?
Maybe.
Or she went on one of those. So basically, I think we're on her 4th time around. And I'm like, look, like Claire, I'm sure you're a great person, but you're what, 40-ish, and you've tried how many times? And if you can't find someone in your normal dating life, how do you think your 4th or 5th time around on TV, you're going to actually find someone?
Right.
Like,
so then we get a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago or so at this point, we get like the news that like she's like no longer on the show.
Because she's pulling some shady stuff and talking to dudes ahead of filming, obviously.
Oh, really? Is that what's going on?
That's what rumors are, that that people keep saying there's no way she found love in the 3 weeks, if that, of filming that they actually got done with her, and that she had to be talking to people ahead of time. And then they found out and they were like, look, this isn't fair to all the dudes who actually came here to meet you when you're clearly in love with whoever. So then she said, okay, well, I'm going to go off with what's his name because I love him. And then she's out.
So do you think this season we're going to get like 3 weeks of her and then it's just going to like show her departing or something? And then we're going to get this new girl.
Yeah. And then who is it? What, Tayshia comes in?
I think so.
Yes. So I think they were, because I kept watching all the rumors go around. And it was like, oh, Tayshia's showing up at the hotel, and now Becca is here, and now I think Demi was there, and then one of the Hannahs was there. And so it was like, is there going to be multiple bachelorettes and they're all going to fight for these same men?
That'd be kind of cool.
And that was, of course, did you follow any of the Becca Garrett rumor mill of whether or not their engagement was broken up?
I didn't see that.
Well, that was a whole thing, part of it, like that people thought they were breaking up, and then she was going off to the Bachelor hotel, so they thought, oh, she's definitely broken up, but then she didn't post anything about it forever. And then finally, a couple weeks ago, they announced that they are no longer engaged, and she is single again.
Wow.
So yeah, but I think Tayshia is supposed to be the main girl once Claire departs.
Interesting. I wonder if it'll be an extended season for her then, because of the fact that the first 3 or 4 episodes might be dedicated to Claire.
Well, I'm wondering how many guys she's going to have left. Like, so if we have a few episodes of Claire, how many dudes did she send home that now Tayshia's left with, so many guys that she doesn't even care about, maybe because they weren't picked to date her.
Right. Or do you think they bring the guys that she sent home back and say, hey, there's a new bachelorette. If you want to get to know her, you can.
You want to try again? Come on back.
Round 2.
Right.
I mean,
what else are they doing? It's COVID. It's quarantine. They're not busy. They might as well come on and date.
Yeah. I have zero expectations. I just hope to expand my knowledge of the universe, because again, like, I have nothing to base it off of because I have only seen Listen to Your Heart and Pilot Pete. So
see, and all I want, I'm so ready for like get back to basics and let's have a normal season where 2 people pick each other in the end and it's not this drama and no one finds love and everyone breaks up with everyone. I'm like, okay, we've had how many of these in a row? And yes, it's the most dramatic season ever, but can we just get back to they find each other and everyone's cheesy and happy and we know it's fake, but they found love?
I just love that Chris Harrison this season has the opportunity to say that you've never seen something like this.
Yes, never. I mean, I feel like that is a fact finally. That for once. I mean,
there's probably been crazier seasons in the past, but hey, this is the first time we're seeing something like this happen, I think, right?
Right. Yeah. First time ever. I mean, I think it'll be interesting. And like, if watching the recap season taught me anything, is that I am very ready for new, never before seen drama of any kind.
Right. I completely agree. So for this introduction episode, we won't go super hard or into it because I know that this is a little older, a few months old, but we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about a Netflix reality show-ish. I don't want to call it like a reality show because, I mean,
it's more like a documentary, kind of?
Almost, yeah. Kind of like a docu-reality series. There's only 5 episodes on Netflix. It's called Love on the Spectrum, and it's actually, apparently, the network associated with it is ABC. So ABC has something to do with it, and it's about 7 young adults on the autism spectrum dive headfirst into the dating pool, exploring the unpredictable world of love and relationships. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 100%.
Was it only 7 people? That was one of my biggest things that I was like, there are so many people on this show. I'm like, who is everyone? How are we going to follow all these people?
Yeah, so I'm looking at the whole cast, like sitting in their like
that fancy photo.
Yeah. And there's a lot. There's only 7 main characters, but there's a bunch of like spin-off like
couples and things. And
So I actually think that I can look at this with you using
Hmm.
StreamYard. I'm on this article called, and this was published May of 2020, because apparently now it says that this season actually aired November of 2019. It just
Oh,
didn't pick up traction until a couple
until
months ago.
everyone was like, I hate my life. I need some positivity and I'm stuck inside.
Exactly. So I'm going to share screen.
Yeah,
Let's see how this works. Can you see that?
it's coming. It's thinking, yes. Where
Okay,
are they
so
now?
this article shows where all of our favorites have been up to since season 1 ended. I wonder if they're going to do more seasons of this.
I know. I had that thought too because I was like, surely. I mean, obviously they went to the dating nights, so there are more people who would potentially be wanting to do this because we saw plenty of people that would fit
Right.
the category.
Yeah. So the show opens up with this guy.
I love Michael so much.
I do too. He kind of gives off the impression of like, I don't want to say Michael Scott, but he's so quirky and weird and he doesn't give a shit about it.
Yes, I could definitely get that vibe.
He embraces it and like he's not afraid to show like
Well, I think he starts it out and he's like, my greatest dream is to be a husband. And I was like, oh, Michael, I hope you find a wife.
yeah, I know, right? He was so sweet and he went on a few dates. We saw him go on a few dates. Like Amanda, the girl that he took out to that fancy restaurant.
Yes.
And she was like, "This is too fancy for me." And he was like,
Yeah,
"Oh,"
she was like, I gotta go.
and I just love how polite he is through everything. He's just like, "Oh, if
Mhm.
you're uncomfortable, you are free to leave."
Right.
Like,
He's like, don't let me hold you here.
yeah.
Please go take care of yourself.
So he kind of had his little moment to shine. He's kind of the breakout star. I think a lot of people. It's sad to say because I know these people are either autistic or they suffer from some kind of mental disability, but like I saw more memes of Michael than anything. I don't know if
Oh,
they're
I need to look some
necessarily,
of those up. I haven't even looked at Twitter on Love on the Spectrum.
I don't know if they like were making fun of him. I hope not,
Oh,
but
I hope not.
he's definitely the star for me. Like he's the most memorable character.
Well, and then in the end, when he meets what's her name from Gilligan's Island,
yes.
and he was the happiest, and he got his hug, and I was like, oh, Michael.
I just wish we could have just seen all 5 episodes based on Michael. Like,
yes, I'm like, I could have been happy with Michael and his life, and
yeah, I could,
his like inferiority complex to his brother, who's like hot and gets all the girls.
Yep.
And then
so then we get Chloe, which I don't remember Chloe very well. She must have had just a brief.
She was the one who she is bi, so she went on a date with a guy, and then she went on a date with a girl because after the date with the guy, she was kind of like, maybe I like women more.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's right. So she I don't want to say she wasn't memorable, but I don't remember her screen time.
But she was all right. Well, there's 7 of them, which doesn't sound like a lot, but like we said, there's so many people in and out that I was kind of like, who are the main people that we need to actually pay attention to?
Right. This was a couple that I remember. Thomas and Ruth. Thomas and Ruth, Ruth collects business cards, which I found was actually a really cool idea.
And she had so many. I was like, this is very impressive that
she had like
you have
binders.
these all nicely organized.
Yeah, it was like how some kids like keep their like baseball cards and like those
Yes.
big binders organized by like team. This girl has business cards from like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of businesses, and I thought that was awesome.
And these two, they live together. So they've lived together for a couple years, right?
Right. They does he have something?
He's the bus driver.
So he's the bus driver, but he's not, does he have a disability or he doesn't?
I think he does, just to a slight degree.
Okay, because I didn't notice a huge
yeah,
disability on his part. But I liked these two.
I'll tell you what I did not like. She was the one who had the snake, and she always was like draping it around, and then she had it on her face, and then they were kissing while it was like creeping in or out of her glasses, and I was like, I gotta go. I'm out.
I'm forwarding the next 5 minutes.
I'm like, I cannot handle this snake makeout. Like,
yeah, and then he kissed the snake, and I was like,
yeah,
okay, what's going on here?
But no, they were very cute. And then he proposed to her on the bus that one day, and then they had their little anniversary dinner date by the water, and
yeah, they happily in love.
yes.
And it says, since the show stopped filming, Thomas and Ruth have moved out of their apartment and into a house together. And they've gotten married, of course.
Adorable.
We
Good
love
for
it.
them.
This is a picture of their wedding, apparently.
Oh my gosh.
Look at all those people.
Look at all those people. Oh, she looks so pretty.
She does.
Very cute.
We love that for them.
Yes.
Ooh, this guy's good.
Kelvin.
Kelvin. I liked Kelvin.
I did too.
Kelvin was the guy that was super into manga, and when he went on the date with the girl and he was like, do you like manga? And she's like, no. And he was just like, well then.
He's like, I gotta go. But then she whipped out her like Nintendo Switch and they were playing Nintendo at the hibachi bar. Like I was like, well, I guess if you want to break the tension and get off of the fact that you don't have the shared interest of manga.
I also love that he also said this to her, like, don't automatically think that we're going to start kissing.
I love how confident he is. Like, I feel like a lot of the other people on the show are kind of like, no, I've never kissed anyone. The one girl kind of didn't want to even hug or touch, but he's like, do not think I'm going to kiss you on the first date. Like, so confident that it's going to be such a great romantic connection.
Wow. Well, Calvin, I don't know if he found love. He said he's still traveling around with his father, and visiting different Comic-Cons and visiting China with his equally single, sweet father.
Oh, I think he was the one too because he met with the dating expert, and then I thought they were working on a book together.
Ooh.
I think right at the end it said he was helping her not illustrate or something with a book on dating for autistic people.
Yeah, I like that. I think I remember that now. Here's Mark. We get Mark next. This guy at first I did not think was a disabled person.
Yes, I would agree with that.
When it kind of expanded into him a little bit more, I was like, oh wow, this guy, he's got something. But I liked that the show kind of showed the different levels of the disability that one can have, because like there's people like Ruth to me and Michael like are kind of on the extreme ends of like, you can trying to be politically correct here, you can tell that they have a disability.
Yes.
But then there's
obviously still very functioning, but you can tell that it's just not
correct. And then there's Mark, which kind of took me a minute to kind of realize that there was actually something else there.
Yeah. I love that Mark could not stop talking about dinosaurs. Like that was his main.
Yeah, he was
love.
like, yeah, I'm obsessed. He's like, my favorite animal is the dinosaur.
And then what was his first date? And the girl was like, what? I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, and I was like, excuse me?
I know. I was like, well, he's going to tell you all about it, so get ready.
Yeah, exactly. So he goes in on dinosaurs. So a lot of people here kind of rounding out with Olivia. Olivia's the one with the glasses, right?
Yes. I feel like Olivia not struggled the most, but she had that date and then she called the guy out and she thought he was making fun of her for having a disability. It was something like weird like that. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Awkward. Yeah, I just watched that episode last night, and like she had the moment where she like jumped up and down and started like celebrating, and he was like,
yes,
he, like mimicked her, and she was like, oh, I do that when I'm excited. That's part of my disability. And he was like, oh, well, I wasn't. She kind of caught him in a. I don't know.
Like he was trying to be nice, and she was thinking he was making fun of her.
She has zero fucks given that though. Like
she was calling everybody out for everything. She was just like, okay, great. You're making fun of me. Don't you know that's rude? Can you not tell I have a disability? Thank you.
Yeah, it's it was crazy. And the guy she went on a date with, I don't think he had any kind of disability, did he?
I thought again he was one of those that it was very slight because then he had to tell her, "No, I have a disability too.
Oh,
It just
that's
might
right.
not be as
Right.
apparent to you."
Yeah, yeah. And then like you said, there's only 7 people like really focused on, but it says there was a lot of others.
The others,
Um,
yeah. Well, we had the one couple who got engaged at the end, spoiler alert.
yeah, yeah. Oh, and then there was this bro.
Oh my gosh, what's his name? Hold on, I have notes.
Wasn't it Mark or something?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Andrew, I documented this very well. He had his little hobby room with like all those giant connects things. So he made
Yeah.
like a Ferris wheel out of connects, and they were like a Big Ben, I think, just giant stuff. And then he started his intro with making a Sex on the Beach his favorite drink. And then he messed it up and had to start over again. But he
Yep.
was just like, here's my favorite drink. And then him relaxing on the couch. And
Yeah, unfortunately, like, oh wait, we didn't even talk about this girl.
oh yeah. What's her name?
Amanda?
Maddy? Is that Maddy?
Maddy might be. Yeah, Maddy.
Yes.
Um, I liked her, but she was
Yes.
also very blunt
Mm-hmm.
in like just saying shit like I think we got a lot of screen time with her too. Like
Yes.
we
What I wrote down, one of my favorite things that Maddie did is when she was practicing getting ready for her date with her parents, they were talking about just things to talk about in general. And she flat out goes, kids are a waste of time and money. And they were
Yeah.
like, don't bring that up on a date.
Her parents are just like, well, maybe don't say that.
Right.
And she was
And
like,
also,
why?
they're like, wow, you are our child. Thank you for telling us you're a waste of time and money.
Yes, exactly.
I loved all the parents in this. I was
Yeah,
like, you're
all the
all so
parents are
sweet
super
and
fun.
cute. And
Yes. I think you have to be.
oh, yeah, for sure.
So in kind of like overall, like what did you think of like the format of the show? Like we said, like kind of documentary reality mesh. What did you think? Would you
I
have rather them gone documentary route
I
or
feel like I liked the idea, but like we said before, there's so many people. Not that I got confused, but I feel like not they should have maybe followed. Michael gets his whole own episode, and then
yes,
the next episode is Maddie, and then maybe it would have followed it better. Because that's, I mean, I really enjoyed it, but this is one of those shows that I found myself so easily distracted and just messing around on my phone during,
yeah,
even though I was like, this is cute. I really like it. May or may not have cried at the finale when the engagement happened and everyone was all happy.
yeah,
But I
same.
just struggled to focus on it. So maybe if it had been one episode per person, could have
Yeah,
kept my attention longer.
I think you gave it a 4 out of 5. I'm giving it a 3
See,
for
I
that
wanted to go 3.5, really, but I was like, I'll round it up to 4.
for that reason exactly. I found myself more prone to like Love is Blind and Too Hot to Handle both kept my attention. I
Right.
really Too Hot to Handle being less quality than Love is Blind, but I was thoroughly entertained with both of those shows.
Yeah,
Um
well, and that's what I said. Like, I was entertained to a degree. Obviously, like I said, I teared up at the end. It was very
yeah,
sweet, but
very
I just
sweet.
could not keep my focus, and I don't know why.
And I kind of don't hate the concept because again, kind of going back to what we said about Bachelor, um let's get a spin on dating for what if they did a whole season of The Bachelor based on people that have autism or
Right. That would be great.
yeah,
Then we
but
could get more caring about the people and
yes, less about the drama.
yeah.
But however, I would love to see a rose ceremony of for all characters like this.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It'd be like, here's my like Rubik's Cube, whatever. Here's
Yeah.
Michael with his love ducks. That's what he could present.
Oh my god, that's so cute. So if you're gonna pick a top 3, maybe favorite character, I don't want to say characters because they're real people, but
Right.
personalities on the show, top 3, who are you going?
Well, Michael's obviously number 1.
Obviously.
Let's see who else if we didn't talk about anybody.
While you're thinking, I think I'm going Michael, Maddy, maybe Kelvin.
I was going to say Kelvin might be my second place.
I really liked Kelvin.
I wanted to like Maddy more, but I just could not go as far.
Yeah.
Let's see. Maybe it might be Olivia for me, just because she was like, I'm doing theater. This is who I am, calling people out.
Yep.
I think, yeah, Michael, Kelvin, Olivia.
Very good. Yeah, I'm curious to see if they do more seasons of this.
Yeah, I think I would watch another season. I just don't know why I couldn't pay attention so much.
Yeah, I agree. It was more easy because there was a lot of slow scenes where they weren't dating each other, like the Australian like the councilwoman that kept coming to see a bunch of them, or like when they would talk with their parents. I was just like, oh, I just want to see them dating. I'm not.
Yeah, I did kind of like when they had that dating boot camp kind of thing.
Yeah,
and they did the let's test out talking to people.
Yeah, and like the bell would ring and they'd move on to the next person or whatever.
Yeah, I liked all the speed dating stuff.
Yes, I liked that. So overall, Love on the Spectrum, a solid watch. I don't not recommend it, but I don't say like you have to drop what you're doing and watch this.
Correct. I think if you need like a nice feel good, I don't want to say background show, but I did mess around on my phone probably 80% of the time, and you can still gather what the story's doing.
Yep.
But
Agreed.
if you want to feel good and have some positive vibes and just watch some people drop truth bombs that most of us don't talk about on first dates.
Yep. If you want a steady lead in to kind of getting your mind back in the mindset of like love reality shows before Bachelor, throw this on. It's 5 episodes. They're each like 40 minutes long. It's not an investment.
It's wholesome.
You'll get
the feels.
You'll get the feels. You'll get emotional at the end. It's a cool glimpse into what it's like to date when you've got a disability. So I appreciated it on that note.
Yes, agreed. I would definitely would watch more of that kind of thing. Definitely more spin-offs.
Yes, I completely agree. So guys and gals, I think that wraps up our introduction. Laura, is there any other words you have to say?
No other words really. Just excited that we're doing this. Excited for Real Bachelor to be back, and it's been a long year in more ways than one.
Mm-hmm.
Not excited that Bachelor is going to be on a Tuesday. I will say, just ruins my flow of my week. But whatever.
Couldn't agree more. But that's the life we live.
Yep.
And I guess
roll with the punches.
We'll roll with the punches. If you want to follow again this pod on Instagram, let me make sure I don't screw it up and I get the real @ here. But personally, while I get this @ you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Logan Lewis 96. Laura, go ahead and plug yourself.
I am Meinert LA on both platforms. That's last name LA.
Binging Batch is Binging Batch Pod. That's all it takes. Go give it a follow. That's what we'll post. Either memes or announcements. The new episode drops. We'll post it there. Yeah.
Follow us both on Twitter. See if we actually accomplish anything.
Yep. Just we'll be Bachelor commentators on Twitter as well. Yes. I'm sure we'll both be live tweeting it.
Besides my one personal one that got the 50 likes, my other high rollers are all Bachelor related.
Well, I'm really excited to get it going. And I guess we'll see everybody on Wednesday. Tuesday when we record, but Wednesday when they listen.
Yes.
All right, Laura. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. See you later.
Bye.